Okay. Sorry. It's been fun. It's hard being this good.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mengs and today I welcome you guys to yet another Fire Emblem Echoes character spotlight. This is actually the third last spotlight of my Echoes marathon until I resume my regular schedule. That doesn't mean I'll never do another Echoes character again, just that it might be a little while until the next one. So anyway, today we are taking a look at one of my personal favorite characters in the game, the amazing villager Gurei.
I'm handsome, I know, but there's no need to stare.
Gurei is an 18-year-old guy hailing from the village of Rom. He grew up alongside Alm, Faye, Tobin, and Cliff. However, unlike the other villagers, Gurei would venture on many trips to the outside world with his father, who was a merchant, making Gurei the only one out of Alm's starting companions with experience of the outside world prior to the events of Echoes. When Lucas showed up in Rom looking for soldiers for the Deliverance, Gurei decided to enlist alongside Alm, not because he particularly cared for their plight, but because he felt a nagging desire to do something with his life. In Gaiden, Gurei was depicted as a pretty standard villager with green hair, wearing a red-colored breastplate over a blue tunic. He also wore grey pants, with gloves and boots, and had a rather stern expression on his face. Come Echoes, Gurei's redesign looks nothing like his original art, now displaying an aloof guy with a funny gesture. He now has short, ruffled black hair, brown eyes, and his skin is darker than the rest of the villagers. He wears a simple tunic with a shoulder pad as his only protection. Gurei is a rather aloof and easygoing guy. His confidence can easily come across as foolhardiness, and he often tends to annoy people around him with his lax attitude and know-it-all demeanor. Despite being a simple villager, he considers himself to be quite wise and experienced due to him being the only one among his friends to have been outside the village on multiple occasions. And this is something that makes him come across as a bit cocky and arrogant. Gurei is a bit of a womanizer. He has an eye for beautiful girls and is quick to remark upon a pretty face when he sees one. He falls completely in love with Claire from the first moment he lays eyes upon her, and spends a lot of time and energy chasing her around on the battlefield, despite initially being horribly rejected. Through their interactions, we see Gurei hopelessly attempt to put his feelings into words and failing horribly at it. While Claire initially thinks this is a very unattractive feature, she eventually warms up to his kind-hearted nature. Despite being a bit of a village idiot and a self-proclaimed know-it-all, Gurei has a heart of gold and is especially close to Tobin, whom he considers his best friend, despite them fighting a lot for Claire's affection. They are a very competitive pair of friends, but this seems to strengthen the bond they share, rather than strain it. Gurei also shows a lot of support for Alm and continuously backs him up through difficult times. Gurei is among the few characters in Gaiden to have his hair color changed in Echoes, shifting from green to black. Gurei has two older sisters, though we never see them in the game. If Gurei and Claire both survive in Echoes, but Tobin dies, Gurei names his son Tobin. If Tobin dies in Gaiden, Gurei becomes an alcoholic. This is one of the rare representations of alcoholism in Fire Emblem. The reason why Gurei's starting level is so high is because he's the only villager who has been outside the village on multiple occasions. Gurei shares his English voice actor, Max Middleman, with Fate's Leo, Forests, and Caden. In Gaiden, Gurei starts out as the strongest villager in your group with a very high base attack of 9, allowing him to actually deal decent damage unlike Tobin and Cliff. However, his growth rates are also pitifully low, even by Gaiden standards, and aside from a decent 30% attack growth, his stats will seldom go anywhere on their own. Because he starts out at level 5 however, Gurei can promote right off the bat without needing any experience, so it's usually wise to feed as many kills as you can to Tobin or Cliff instead, as getting Gurei extra levels prior to his promotion will rarely do much for him. In Gaiden, there's really only one viable class choice for Gurei, and that's a mercenary, since it patches up his horribly low base speed and puts his great attack stat to use by allowing him to hit hard and double frequently. Since Gaiden enemies scale horribly, the promotional gains he gets to speed from becoming a mercenary should allow him to land double attacks all the way up to his eventual promotion to a Myrmidon, and then to Dreadfighter. If you go any of the other routes with Gurei, don't expect him to do much. As an archer, he will be on par with Python. As a cavalier, he will be very similar to Clive, and as a mage, his list of spells is severely limited, with only Fire, Thunder, and Sagittae. Soldier might sound passable at first, since Armor Knights are slow anyway, but since you already have Lucas and Forsyth who can't change away from their classes in this game, a third Armor Knight won't really do anything for you. With Gurei, there really isn't much of an alternative if you want to be optimal. Mercenary is really the only class he excels at. In Echoes, Gurei has gone from being arguably the worst villager to possibly one of the best ones, certainly beating out Cliff, who previously held the title of the best villager in the game. While his growth rates are still sorta low compared to the other villagers, they are at least passable in most areas. At least his horrendous Gaiden speed growth of 10% has gone up to 30% in Echoes, making him rely less on promotional gains to be effective. Just like in Gaiden, Gurei can promote right off the bat without needing any experience, so be careful about giving him kills unless Cliff, Tobin and Faye have all earned their promotions when you eventually clear out the Thief Shrine, as you really do not want to have any villagers in the map leading up to the Deliverance outposts. As far as his class goes, Gurei still thrives as a mercenary, as it patches up his low base speed and makes him a very good frontline unit. Besides, there are no natural mercenaries in Alm's route, so promoting a villager is the only way you'll get one, and having a Dreadfighter in Alm's late game is almost considered a must, especially for Nui Baba's abode. Unlike in Gaiden, Gurei can now actually serve as a decent archer or even cavalier. He'll have more skill than Python and more strength than Clive. His spell list as a mage, however, is still terrible, so that path is still not advised. Despite what you choose to do with Gurei and Echoes, he's certainly in a much better place than he used to be, though it can be argued that it's simply because Cliff has been nerfed and Tobin has stayed relatively the same. Still, you probably will find that Gurei will be one of the more useful villagers in your party thanks to his high attack and good durability. Just don't let him pester Claire too much and he should hopefully serve you quite well.
Okay, it's been fun. Bye now.
Thank you for watching this Fire Emblem character spotlight. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and a comment, it really helps out the channel a lot. I would like to give a shout out to my silver tier Patreon Gregster, who wanted to request this spotlight despite it already being part of the Echoes marathon that I planned to do. While Gregster already got his spotlight on a drawing a while back, he's also been one of my longest supporting Patreons, so I want to give him an extra bit of thank you for his many months of support. It really means a lot. I would also like to thank my other Patreon supporters as well. Anyone of bronze tier or higher will automatically be listed at the end of my spotlights and certain other videos. I am very grateful for your continued support. Thank you so much. The beautiful art and design you see created in this video was made by my designer Mina Tangerina, and my script editors Nasiro and Sonagi helped me fine-tune the script for this spotlight. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Mangs, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye!